fan's heart is full of hate. He butters, cries, and a dark shadow falls over this troll. From the ashes of a once great fandom has risen a meme, an LOL that must be liked. We look to the airwaves for a vindicator, someone to strike fear in the dark basement of the parents who created him. The battle between fan and Smark has begun. With a head on his shoulders stands the Smark fan, a speaker of truths, with a voice of silence and a radio show of justice. This is Ring Rust.
Because, you know, as Triple H would have everyone know, when you fight authority, authority always wins. So, the authority in WWE. Anyway, this is Fabio Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. So now let's get right into the Elimination Chamber predictions for this coming Sunday on the WWE Network. Apparently, not on pay-per-view proper, just on the WWE Network, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how many times they do that, and well, I guess, with more and more pay-per-view companies saying we don't want to carry their pay-per-views anymore because reasons, I guess WWE really kind of has no choice except to go their own route as to how to broadcast their pay-per-views. So they're just about going to have to make all of them, except for probably the big four, WWE Network exclusives. So let's find out how that works out, shall we? I guess really no particular order, because from the Wikipedia page, I don't know what order the person who typed this up thought the show was going to go in. So I'm just going to read matches until I have all 6 of them read. And there's no match in the pre-show apparently, so there's just 6 scheduled matches, so they'll probably add 1 or 2 more. Probably, more than likely. Adam Rose will show up and say, oh yeah, we should probably do something with this guy. And Zack Ryder shows up and says, oh, we should probably do something with this guy. Not together, of course, because that might be constructive or something, and only result in 1 match. I don't know. So let's start with the Divas 3-way title match, which will see Nikki Bella defending her title against Paige and Naomi. Now, Naomi's sort of still new as a contender for the title, so I don't really see her winning the belt just yet. I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe that'll be the exact thing that happens. I don't know. I won't know until I watch Elimination Chamber, I suppose. But I personally foresee 2 divas getting smashed in the face. By the ultimate winner of this match, Paige.
And I quote,
check out the TMZ of professional wrestling news. And I quote, on Facebook, all the latest news with some attitude, new and classic wrestling videos, and so much more.
Can I have your attention, please? I just received an email from the Raw general manager.
So the second match, again in no particular order apparently, according to the Wikipedia page, they're just sort of all over the place. So I'll talk about the Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match, which will see the New Day defending their titles against Lucha Dragons and Tyson Kidd and Antonio Cesaro and the Primetime Players and the Ascension and Los Matadores. So, I don't know, I guess the New Day retains, I suppose. It seems a fairly safe bet. Or Kidd and Cesaro could get their titles back, or, you know, or somebody on the WWE creative team could say, LOL, how about the Ascension?
Feeling your wrestling news a little washed out? Think you've been forsaken? Fear not. You're listening to Ring Rust on CHMR 93.5 FM.
The wall of shine.
This is Fabo Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 3.5 CHMR-FM. So next up, in my order anyway, because like I said, it's in seemingly random order from the Wikipedia page, so just do it in my order. In my opinion, the next match they'll do is Adrian Neville taking on Bo Dallas in a not really much of anything, I guess, match. Adrian Neville does seem to have, ironically, a rocket strap to his back. So I foresee that he's probably going to win this match, but, you know, he's probably only going to win the match if he believes.
Go ahead, kitty. Go outside.
Outside? What are you, crazy? It's a dog-eat-cat world out there. Please, not outside. I could get hit by a car. Pick up some disease. Get chased by the neighbor. Be rained and snowed on. It's a jungle out there. I'm staying inside where I'll be happy, healthy, and live 3 times longer than an outdoor cat.
Do you know where your cat is? For more information on keeping cats happy and safe indoors, call your local animal shelter or the Canadian Federation of Humane Societies.
So the next match, even though I probably, all things considered, they are probably going to end the show with the 2 Elimination Chamber matches. Mainly because it just takes so long to set up and it takes so long to take apart. They wouldn't necessarily want to have not take it apart, I guess, but, they'll wait till after the show to take it apart. They'll assemble it, then lift it up over the ring, and then bring it down when it's time for the matches. And then if they choose to not do the Elimination Chamber matches last, then they'll lift it up back again to the ceiling, and I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what, more than likely though, they will actually put the Elimination Chamber matches last. So, the only thing is they have the World Heavyweight Championship match third on the Wikipedia page. And then after that is the John Cena, Kevin Owens. So that's why I said, what the hell's going on with this? So I'm gonna, that's like Big Show's the champion. So next up, I'll be talking about the, Elimination Chamber match for the, vacant Intercontinental Championship, which will see Sheamus taking on Ryback, taking on R-Truth, versus King Barrett, versus Alexander Rusev, versus Dolph Ziggler. Any one of those guys, I guess, could, be a decent enough Intercontinental Champion. Not so much Ryback, I suppose, and Wade Barrett doesn't really need it because he's the king. He could be the king, he could be the Intercontinental King, I suppose, but, Rusev is just coming off the U.S. title feud, so he's probably going to feud for the belt, but he's not necessarily going to win it this time around, so I guess they just need someone who's a solid wrestler who's going to be a good face for, for defending the Intercontinental title. And that, I think, is probably going to be Dolph Ziggler. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. So, next up we have John Cena defending the U.S. title against Kevin Owens, not putting the NXT title up for grabs, I guess, because wouldn't that be something? John Cena winning the NXT title. How angry, how butthurt would all of you be then if John Cena won the NXT title? My God. You would not be able to stop talking, yet you would not be able to stop watching it. Oh, any day now I'm going to stop watching WWE. No, you aren't. You're going to keep watching because you're an addict. You're addicted to it. It's like crack. It's very bad for you, as you've admitted a number of times. Very bad for you, yet you keep exposing yourself to it multiple times a week. At the very least, you watch Raw. You may or may not watch SmackDown. That seems to be a more arbitrary, that seems to be more of a decision for a lot of people as to watch, whether or not they watch SmackDown. But, it's still, it's Raw Junior, I guess. It's a 2-hour version of Raw. If you don't like watching 3 hours of Raw, why don't you watch SmackDown instead? They'll give a Raw rebound anyway. They'll remind you what's going on in Raw, and You can always go to the internet to tell you what happened on Raw that you should have seen. There's absolutely no reason to sit down and watch Raw live for 3 hours. There's no reason to. I download Raw after the fact. It's less than 2.5 hours. It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes or 2 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. It's not that long. It's not, and they take all the commercials out. Whoever uploads it takes all the commercials out, and they don't remove anything from Raw. They just take the commercials out usually. Sometimes every now and then they'll leave the commercials in, and it's like, oh, okay. 5 or so years from now, if this is still online, it'll be interesting mirroring to what commercials were being played, but that's about it. So, if you don't like Raw, don't watch Raw. Don't complain about it because Raw used to be great. Because life used to be great when you lived with your parents, and they fed you, and they clothed you, and you didn't have to pay rent. You can keep harping on that all you want, but you know what they say about people who still live with their parents at your age. So, you keep fronting.
Your source for total non-stop action. You're tuned to the simply phenomenal Ring Rust. On CHMR 93.5 FM. Ring Rust presents Macho Facts. Paper beats rock. Rock beats scissors. Scissors beats paper. The Macho Man beats all three at once. And if you can see Randy Savage, he can see you. If you can't see Randy Savage, you may only be seconds away from a top rope elbow drop.
On her way to the ring, weighing in at none of your gosh darn business, hailing from your wildest fantasies, Prissy Princess. I just find the idea of Prissy Princess being amusing. So we got one match left for the Elimination Chamber, which is live on the WWE Network this coming Sunday from the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas. Well, the last match I'm talking about anyway is the world title match, which it's really weird. The Elimination Chamber is kind of weird in that sure, they'll have it set up in advance. All they got to do is they'll build it and then they'll lift it up above the ring, and then when it's time for either of the Elimination Chamber matches to start, they'll just lower it, and they'll probably do the 2 Elimination Chamber matches back to back because that just makes more sense. It's more convenient. But where are they going to do the matches? Are they going to do them at the beginning of the show, at the middle of the show, or are they going to do them as the 2 main events? I don't know. Because if they put them as the main events, then that means their world champion isn't the main event. But I guess I imagine there's worse things in life. Not to the average butthurt tosspot internet wrestling fan, but the world title, Seth Rollins will be defending his championship against Dean Ambrose. And since this is Dean's first time challenging for the title, it's just my observation. Generally speaking, sure there are a handful of exceptions. Generally speaking, the first time you challenge for a title, you don't win it. Sure, they can haul you out of the audience in Italy and have you challenge Umaga and win his Intercontinental Championship, but that's not the kind of thing that happens, That's not the kind of thing that happens every day. So I foresee that Seth Rollins is going to successfully retain his title, but they seem to be doing though is they seem to be throwing something kind of surprising in there as well. It's like, whoa, what happened? What's going on here? So I don't know. Maybe we'll see somebody join the Authority. We'll see someone leave the Authority. Maybe we'll see the Big Show come back because he's supposed to be on his way back soon. So, we'll see. I guess that's why they call it a surprise. But anyway.
Slamming wrestling news radio on its back since 2002. You're listening to Ring Rust on CHMR 93.5 FM.
Radio Shrug. This is Fabo Mark Gibrodi. You were listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. And I guess the biggest, silliest, maybe, piece of news, I don't know about biggest, but silliest for the, well, not the biggest, I guess, so I guess it would be the silliest, therefore. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles loyalists, hold on to your shells. The bad guys of the Mutant franchise were spotted on the sequel set for the first time on Tuesday. Shredder was back, albeit played by Brian T. this time around, and he was joined by iconic criminal duo Bebop and Rocksteady in New York. While fans will no doubt be very excited to see the twosome, who did not make the cut for the 2014 release, the baddies looked very different. Namely, they were not mutant zoo animals. In the original 1980s cartoon series, Bebop, played this time by Gary Anthony Williams, and Rocksteady, portrayed by pro wrestler Sheamus, were a humanoid warthog and rhinoceros, respectively. However, when they were initially introduced to the cartoon, they were human too, as they may yet undergo mutations in the humanoid hog and rhino fans love to hate. For the day of filming, the pair was seen conversing in a cafe with Gary Anthony sporting Bebop's iconic purple mohawk. The characters were meant to appear in the first film, but they were written out with the intention of bringing something new to the sequel, which I guess they will, I suppose. The two bad guys, of course, form part of the ultimate bad guy, Shredder's Foot Clan. The new Shredder was on set for the first time on Wednesday also. Stepping in as the head bad dude, Brian was dressed in full battle-worthy leathers with the character's signature spiked arm guards, which appeared to have the razor-sharp spikes retracted, along with metal shin and knee guards. He was not wearing Shredder's scary helmet and face mask, as that was no doubt the last piece of the costume to go on before filming. Just hours after it was announced she was joining the film, Brittany Ishibashi was also on set. The 34-year-old actress will play Shredder's daughter, Karai, and was dressed in a female version of the on-screen father's look. Okay, sure. The form-fitting bodysuit features leather breasts as well as leather panels and shoulder, arms, and legs. Breast pads, I guess, or breast, whatever they call that particular part of armor. Breastplate? I guess, I don't know. The formidable force of bad guys will be, of course, facing off against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the reporter pal April, played by Megan Fox, when the film hits theaters June 3rd, 2016. Also returning is Will Ferrell as Vernon Fenwick, who gets a new love interest in supermodel Alessandra Ambrosio. Other new cast members include Laura Linney, Stephen Amell, and Tyler Perry as the evil humanoid fly scientist Baxter Stockman. So, sure. Why not?
and you are listening to Ring Rust on CHMR 93.5 FM.
Hansel? This is Fat Boy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. Destination America has announced that Ring of Honor Wrestling will premiere on the network Wednesday, June 3rd, and will be followed by a new episode of Impact Wrestling. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to whether or not that means Impact is canceled from Destination America, or they're both going to be there, because I can't imagine Ring of Honor necessarily wants or needs Impact kicked off the station, and I can't imagine Impact Wrestling wouldn't welcome Ring of Honor to also come on to Destination America, especially in this particular scenario where people who are going to come to Destination America for Ring of Honor will stay, more than likely, for Impact Wrestling, especially if they advertise Impact during Ring of Honor. I mean, why wouldn't they? So, yeah, that's the question, though. Why wouldn't they? But that's because I don't know the answers that network executives would give. So that's why they wouldn't, I guess.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni, and subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
Well, that's too bad. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. So we're going to end things off with a rather humorous thing that somebody did on the internet. Imagine that. Someone did something humorous on the internet.
You think you know me?
They took Becky Lynch's entrance video from the most recent TakeOver pay-per-view and interspaced it with Ultra Bridge.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR-FM.